I'd like to welcome everybody here today to have a look at the resource, Tell a Trusted Adult. This is a resource that has been developed by the author Sharon Hynes and Katerina Meda, who is our wonderful illustrator of this beautiful card set. There's also lesson plans and posters and questions and activity cards. So there's quite a comprehensive card set. We are also very aware that this week is Child Safety Week, and we thought that it was probably a really great opportunity to put this resource out there, because child safety isn't just for a week. Child safety is something that we are really passionate about, and ensuring that our really young children up to our high school age kids, getting them very aware of what does it feel like to be safe, what does it feel like to not feel quite so safe, and then who do we tell and who do we trust. So that's a little bit about the card set. So to begin with, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners on the land on which we're meeting today. I'm currently on Wurundjeri country of the Kulin Nation. I'd like to acknowledge our leaders, Aboriginal leaders, Torres Strait Islander leaders, past, present, and emerging. So we might begin. Sharon.
Okay, so we have got a slide here that we'd like you all to take a few moments to look at. So before using this resource, it's absolutely vital that you are really up to date with your state and territory's legal requirements for when a young person reports to you. So just check that you are up to date. Just read these speech bubbles to yourself, and if there are any of these areas that you're not feeling 100% confident on, you really need to take action and get your expertise to 100% in this area. It's very, very important. So child safety depends on you knowing what to do when a young person confides in you. So this resource will help those things to happen, along with preventing young people from going down pathways of shame or going down pathways of behaviours that don't help them. So it's very much a preventative resource, but it also provides opportunities for young people to disclose things that could be happening, and it is your responsibility to know how to respond appropriately to that. So having said that, just take a moment to check and double check, and we'll move on with how to use this resource. So the big three parts to our webinar today are, firstly, we've created this resource to help promote child safety. That is the underlying reason. So that is why we really believe you need to get this resource, and also knowing that it's a Child Safety Week, it ties in beautifully. The second main point, we want you to be aware of the details of this resource, because there is so much here. You're just going to be blown away by all the elements of this resource. And the third part that we hope to address today is how can you use these Tell a Trusted Adult cards and the other components of this resource. We want to give you opportunities to use them within whatever organisation you are in, and we will expand on these as much as we can in the 30 minutes today. So here you can see some of the details of the basic kit, where you get 13 pairs of cards, and each pair shows particular character, particular personality feeling safe and potentially feeling unsafe. And these cards provide opportunities for discussion. There are 9 activity cards to use alongside that will give you questions to ask. There's a question time card that will give you art opportunities to explore. There's a whole host of activities that you can refer to on the activity cards, as well as in the comprehensive booklet that will really go into the details of setting up a safe environment for the use of this resource, along with description of the thumbnails of the cards so that you can see what sort of things the majority of young people connect with when looking at the cards and interacting with the cards. Also to know that there aren't any right or wrong. It is an opportunity to promote discussion. And the comprehensive booklet is rich with further activities as well. If you choose to buy the additional part of the resource, you will get 6 posters. And in the PDF of the posters, the big question, how safe do you feel? So having the young person be able to read this at eye level, so make sure it's at eye level for them, at the very start of your organisation, whether it's the office at a school or whether it's the reception area of a counselling scenario, whatever it is, it's great to have these posters on show to show child safety is a non-negotiable, and it needs to be in everyone's forefront of their mind. And especially for our young people to straight away be able to get a strategy just by looking at the poster. They can view the left, the unsafe signal, the right, feeling safe signal, the question, how safe do I feel right now? But then also a major strategy of the resource to actually tell a trusted adult and get things out in the open. In this additional component, there is also a 10-week lesson plan, which will help you to use the cards in a building on knowledge type way, but they do not need to be done as a course, but can be done as a course. So one of the big things we want to begin with here for Child Safety Week is how do we nurture the social and emotional well-being of our children? How do they show us they are feeling safe? And the cards are a great way for the young people to connect with their own body signals. And these 3 cards here are showing what it feels like to feel safe. Because you need to know the difference. You need to know the difference between how my body feels when it's safe compared to how it feels when it's unsafe, so that our body can communicate with us and we can be aware of what's going on for us. And we can have a trusted adult available to discuss this with us. So it's very, very important that you yourself have experienced the cards, you connect with them, because we all connect in different ways. These 3 have been great during remote learning. They're very empowering cards, because often the young people are saying, oh, but we can't play in our basketball team anymore. Our basketball's not going on. I miss playing my basketball. I haven't seen my friends for a while. I'm getting so lonely. I can't even go to my skate park that I love to. So they can quickly downward spiral when they're noticing all the things that they can't do right now, especially in Victoria. And so looking at these safe cards empowers them, because they can see, oh, well, actually, I can still play outside. I can go to the park. I can practice a skill that I'm developing, whether it's dancing or something else, or I can become more aware of my own inner world, my own inner life through yoga, breathing, meditation, tuning in, any of those things. And these 3 cards are very popular at the moment for empowering our young people and guiding them to things that they can do right now.
it is really important, isn't it, to start to notice what our body is doing, and this is the start of that conversation, because often looking at the positives can then help us think about what might not be quite so right. So I think these do a beautiful job in really connecting to those positive feelings and what it does feel like and where it feels like in our bodies. A beautiful card. Yeah, great images, Kat.
Yeah, you can see that you'll see a little bit later on the cards that depict unsafe situations illustrated in more somber colours, but these ones are very bright and colourful, really tell us that these children feel calm and safe and happy within themselves.
I think the next ones are much the same, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that you can see the theme that Kat was talking about in terms of the uplifting colours and the activities and the way our body, our expressions that we show when we're feeling calm and peaceful. You can see that added on curiosity and wonder card, the green one there with exploring nature, asking questions, love of learning, finding things out. These are all very much available right now, and the young people are connecting with what they enjoy about nature, how they want to protect nature, and having compassion for nature are all helping to lift and empower them and give them activities that they can be doing while remote learning as well. The one with the puppy there, who loves you? What do you do with the ones you love? So we know there's been a big increase in the amount of pets that people are purchasing while they're spending more time at home, but also the unconditional love that the young people feel when they connect with their pets. So all these are positive, these emotions that are somewhat more uplifting for them to experience can counteract the downward spiraling that they may be tempted to get caught up in at this time. And then it's great to have a card there with a trusted adult. So that sense of riding on their shoulders, which can be extended into getting a lifting up, exploring with fun, the fun of bubbles, but also the superhero cape, connecting with one's strengths and talents, and having the courage to have a go and to have some fun with the people that you love. So these cards can really remind the young people that they still have a lot of opportunities around them. And then we've got the hammock, and as the weather improves, coming from Melbourne here, so we've got a lovely sunny day today, the young people will say, well, he looks pretty calm and chilled, and then we may extend on that. So how can you feel calm and chilled, and what are some of the things you like to do during remote learning that help you give that calm and chilled feeling? So even if they're not one that likes to lie in the sun, even though that's definitely something I can share that I enjoy doing, they can then expand on, when does my body look and feel like this? And it could be, just laying on the couch or playing some video games, which do seem to be quite popular at the moment, but that is what it is. But it does expand the idea of getting outside and being in nature as well.
So the next lot of cards we have are these images, Kat, that you've created, the ones when we're not feeling quite so safe.
Yeah, so you can see here that they're illustrated in darker, somber colours compared to the safe scenarios. As when we're looking at the cards as pairs, is the graphic elements. It ties pairs together. So you can look at the safe and, first of all, the unsafe, unpack it, and then discuss strategies as to how you can move from one situation to another, to a more positive situation.
I've found the one with the character that looks quite shaky, how his hair's kind of spiky up and you can see a bit of darkness around the tummy and the desire to protect oneself, the face and so forth. I find that one, the young people are connecting to that one when they're talking about situations when they haven't felt included. So it tends to really connect with what their body starts to do. If perhaps the people are playing a game and they say, oh, no, you can't play because we've already started, or, they're just not feeling welcome or as though they belong or being included. And it's a really great way for them to connect with their body and to explore what's going on and what it is like to be an inclusive person, and knowing that when we're being inclusive and we're being welcoming and encouraging and accepting diversity and embracing all, how amazing that feels, and how we can be leaders in the school environment by promoting inclusivity. So these cards can start with our body telling us something doesn't feel great for me right now, and then unpacking that, and then really moving into that positive action, problem solving, the direction of how I want to be and how I can make a difference in our world, as opposed to getting bogged down, spiraled downwards of powerlessness by just thinking that's always going to be like this. That's what people are doing to me, rather empowering them to feel safe again, to empower them to be around people who do include them and to promote inclusivity at school. So I've found that one comes up quite a bit, especially in the senior school where their peers mean so much to them. And we can see the young person clinging there. And I know that's one of Alison's personal favourites.
It is. It's been a conversation that in the early years sector have been talking a lot about with children, because we've been moving in and out of lockdowns, and children have been going to school and they're not at school, and then at kinder and not at kinder, going to daycare. Children are very unsettled. Our conversations have been around, so what does the adult in this space need to provide? What's the role of the adult in this space to ensure that, it's okay for this child to come back in and to be a bit closer and need an extra hug just in this moment in time in order to feel safe, and so that they can move back into that little social engagement that they were in maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, but have been at home again. But also the other part of this is that as an adult, when we're talking about the trusted adult and child safety, if you have a child that is doing this, we really need to take some notice around what might actually be going on, and to be a bit curious as to what else do we need to look for? What has been happening? Are we missing out on something? Is there something that we're missing here? So yeah, a really great card for lots of really good conversations. Also, for other children to say, yeah, I feel like that too sometimes. But it's okay, I get a hug and then I'm okay. It can normalise it as well. Exploring the fear response, Sharon, tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, well, each of the cards were developed uniquely and not necessarily with the fear response in mind when they were being created. They were more things that Katerina and I had noticed when young people feel unsafe. They've told us what they do. They've explained to us what their body feels like. So we put them together, and then as the process developed and we connected with innovative resources and we had more training in the fear response, and we started to see that the cards that Katerina has created here all fit beautifully into the current knowledge that is known of possible fear responses. So being aware that people express their fear in different ways is very, very empowering for everyone, because we can stop judging young people for doing certain things and behaving in certain ways, and they can stop judging themselves, because instead they can notice this as a body clue that they're not feeling safe, and their body is telling them that they need to seek safety, and that this may be in terms of fighting and protecting oneself. It could be in terms of fleeing and getting away from the situation, or it could be freezing or flopping. So, and there is another one we'll come to in a little while, but I just want to talk a little bit more about some of these. So once you know that, you can look at situations a little bit differently, especially as an educator. If you see a young person wanting to run away or get away, you know, you need to start sort of looking at what is it about the classroom or the situation that is causing them to potentially feel unsafe, instead of thinking, oh, he's just a young one that won't do what they're told, or this is just a young person that's making my life difficult. So, you know, just really reframing that to understanding this is a young person who's experiencing such intense fear within their body, they feel that they have to run away. So then strategies can be used to help work with their fear responses, and they can develop their own inner awareness and understanding of their go-to when they are feeling unsafe. But the one that I had a lot of success with lately is the freeze response. And the reason why this one has led to a lot of success in the classroom environment is because it is one that is often ignored, because it doesn't really, the child's not really stopping anyone from learning, or not really causing anyone any worries. But within that young person, there's such incredible fear that they can't think, they can't learn, they can barely breathe, and they're often in this state of fear for a long period of time while they're at school. And then we see things like them going home and having huge, massive meltdowns because they've just been so tight in their body, holding it together. So having young people to articulate this, it's just been amazing, because you wouldn't know. And they'll see, you know, you could ask the question, so if you're in the classroom and you're not quite sure what to do, how would I know that you didn't know what to do? And then they'll go to this freeze card. This is me. This is what I'm like. I'm frozen. I can't do anything. I'm just so scared. And to hear that from the young person, and for that young person to be able to articulate that, it's just so powerful. And then for them to be able to come up with ways that can snap them out of this freeze state, such as asking for help. And then they notice that they can think again, you know, when they can snap themselves out of that freeze response and think again and learn again and problem solve again. It's very empowering. So these cards can open up learning. Like, you will just be amazed at the power of these cards in so many different ways. And as we continue to evolve the cards, we learn more. And the next page will show a further fear response. Now, this card is designed and is still used as a feeling safe card. However, it also has connected with another fear response that has become more known as the befriend or the fawning response. And this is where the child needs to be friends to keep themselves or the people they love safe. And in order to make friends, they are overly giving, whether it's of themselves, of objects, putting themselves last, being very passive and very submissive. And often, you know, it'll be the kids that are playing truth or dare, and then a powerful friend will dare them and they'll just feel like they have to do it. It's like they can't think for themselves because they just so much want to keep the more powerful peer happy. So this in itself, you know, as it was developed as a feeling a safe card, but it could also possibly show a fear response. And you know, this brings an important point to the cards that have been developed. There's no right or wrong answer. And the way you connect with them and the way the young people connect with them, they're a tool for opening discussions. They're not a this can only be used this way type model, not at all. They can be mixed around and used in whatever way. Be creative, allow the young people to be creative. Yeah, so this, it's just amazing how the cards have kind of fit in with the fear responses as well.
So this is another aspect of the card set. So we talked about the lesson plans. So tell us a little bit about what does that look like? And do I have to do every week?
No. So once again, very open to what you need. They're designed for classrooms, but they could equally well be used in small groups or one-on-one scenarios. They're suited for different age groups, different developments. There are options all the way through. Now, for instance, this is the first lesson, which is designed to set up a safe space, to really get the communication to be true, helpful, inspiring, necessary, and kind, which you can see in the poster there. It's quite a common acronym, and it's a beautiful acronym because words hurt, and we need to have the words being safe in the classroom. So learning what a safe classroom looks like, brainstorming that, and exploring that further and deeply. And you may need to stay with this for maybe 2 or 3 weeks if you're finding evidence that it's slipping out of being a safe classroom. Or you may have already covered safe classrooms and you might just touch on this lesson and then move on to further lessons going through. Or there might be one particular lesson. So for Child Safety Week, maybe you want to do Tell a Trusted Adult, where you want your young people to know, straight away know, the 5 trusted adults, who they are, want that strategy at their fingertips. So you might skip right to that lesson. You may find that your young people that you're working with are really lacking persistence and resilience. So you would skip further down to match up those lessons. But we have designed them to be sequential and what makes sort of sense in the classroom, but very flexible. It's there to serve you and to serve the needs of your young people.
So then the other part of it is that within the card set, we have a set of cards that have an art activities, but I love this card. This is my favourite one, Question Time, because it really can unpack what those cards are about and what the child sees and what their understanding is that may be happening in that card. It can also give them the opportunity to do a bit of that narrative therapy, even, you know, telling you a bit of a story about what's going on or sharing a story that is going on for them. So tell us a little bit about how did this come about?
Yeah, the Question Time cards connect very much with literacy development and the process that's used to develop comprehension in literacy, based on 4 levels of questioning, starting with what you see in the here and now, and that's the very literal perception of the card, and then moving more to more inferential, the fourth level of the hidden. And in between, you have your thinking and you have the heart. So you're thinking, your wonderings about the card, and the heart is, how does it make you feel when you see this? Or how do you think the character is feeling when this is happening? So the 4 levels of questioning come straight from excellent comprehension tools used currently in the literacy classroom. We want our resource to be used in literacy. We want it to be used in art. There are even maths opportunities as well, because like Alison said before, child safety is not just for a 1-week thing, but if we can really extend it to be happening right through the curriculum, then the message is going to be embedded. It's going to be natural for our young person to be thinking, how safe do I feel right now, rather than how cool am I perceived right now, or rather than how does someone else think of me right now. It's turning it all around to make it so much more empowering for our young people, so they're thinking, oh, I'm important. How safe am I right now? I deserve to feel safe all of the time. It is my right to feel safe all of the time. And we want them to have that deep understanding. And the 4 levels of questioning help them to really, really connect with that key concept.
Thank you so much, Sharon and Kat. We're going to put up a couple of slides at the end here. And so, Sharon, did you want to tell us a little bit about some further development, some professional development, if people are interested?
Yeah, so Kat and I are very passionate in having this resource being used in schools especially, and we would love to give some training and additional support to teachers or any practitioners really in how to use the resource and to give further ideas and suggestions. So there are lots of different ways we can help you with that. Whether it is a professional development that we can offer your school via Zoom or hopefully in person moving forward, incursions with the children, school assemblies to make it a whole school approach. We'd love to also do one-on-one coaching to help you to feel confident to have these conversations with young people. So these are some of the things we're offering. Our email addresses are there for you, or you could also contact Innovative Resources and they have our emails there as well. So I'd love to hear from you and we can put a proposal forward for you.
Thank you. And then the last one we've got is, this is Innovative Resources. As Sharon and Kat have both said, happy to take any inquiries. We also are able to provide you with the resource. So there's the costs and all that are actually located at innovativeresources.org. Please explore this resource. It's a great resource. And I'd just like to say thank you to Sharon and Kat for sharing this resource with us. So thank you, ladies.